Uh, Today, this is Group B, right? Very good. And I know you are also smaller than the first group. Let me see. Comprising social sciences, medicine. Well, I can't remember. Anyway, you all know yourself that you're supposed to be here. So what we shall be doing today is a repeat of what the first group learned last week. Your session is today for general business opportunities in Nigerian economy. And the lecture will be facilitated by the same expert we had last week in the person of Dr. Chijioke Ekechukwu. Many of you that are here today may not have known him, but let me just say a little bit about him. He has a PhD in finance, specializing in monetary policy. He's a very experienced banker, and he has held so many positions in the Nigerian banking sector. A former Director General of the Abuja Chambers of Commerce and Industry. He currently sits as the Managing Director, right? Yeah, is the Managing Director of Dignity Finance and Investment Company. So his name is Dr. Chijioke Ekechukwu, and he will be taking us through this lecture. Please, what I want from you is to be quiet. Like I told you last week, is the real lecture for GST 302. What your lecturers will be doing during the normal session with you will be just to recap what our guest lecturer will be telling you this morning. So it's very important, whatever question you need to ask it now. Because your lecturer may not even be able to answer them, right? Because this is experience from the field that we are bringing to the classroom. What we teach as lecturers are theory, but they are more into the field. They know what is going on there, and they can give us an insight into what is normally not taught in the classroom. Please be attentive, probe into the issues, ask questions, because your assessment and whatever you are, your attendance will also be taken. I think they will pass it around, exactly. So please give us your attention. In that case, let me welcome Dr. Chijioke to the podium. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Prof. I remember him saying that people should come closer. Just come closer so that we fill the front areas. If there's an empty seat in front of you, know you have not obeyed. If there's an empty seat in front of you, just know you are disobeying us. Occupy it. All right, thank you very much. Just like the prof said, I'm a guest lecturer for today. I came in all the way from town, and I want to believe you have your pen, your paper, your book to write something on, because the lecture you're getting today may be your life-changing opportunity. So please don't take it as a lecture that will enable you pass exam only. Take it as a life-changing lecture that many people will not have opportunity to see or to experience. And I called it Ways to Practical Entrepreneurship. Ways to Practical Entrepreneurship. Part of it. Now, it's also possible they have been teaching you the practical side, but these are more practical than probably what you may be getting in the classroom. And I can tell you, after today's lecture, there are going to be very many entrepreneurs from this place. There are so many names you know about today. Floater Wave. Do you know Floater Wave? Okay. Interswitch. Bill Gates. You know all those names. And in Nigeria, we have a good number of them, like at the Floater Wave I mentioned. Now, these people are young people like you. Very young people like you. And what made the difference between them and the normal people is the fact that they decided to take the bull by the horn. They decided to become entrepreneurs, and they decided to run businesses and take risks, and decided that they're not going to just be waiting for anybody to employ them. Talking about employment, I'm sure you know, every year the National Bureau of Statistics, that's the department of government that gives us data all the time, economic data, financial data, population data. They keep giving us the data and percentages. And just recently, in the last one, they told us the number of unemployed Nigerians is 33% of the population, 33.33%. And I usually put it at 40% because maybe before you finish, I understand your third year, maybe before you finish, that population will increase to 40% of the population being unemployed. Why are they unemployed? Because they went to school, graduated from school, hoping and wishing somebody else will employ them. That's why they're unemployed. But the essence of this lecture today is to let you know that from today, start reasoning and start thinking like an entrepreneur. Don't think about finishing from school and going to take your certificate and go and start moving around and looking for work. The work is no more existing. The work does not exist today. I'm sure you know, even to get jobs in federal ministries and parastatals, the people who are taking the decision also have relations. They have children, they have cousins, they have nieces and nephews. They will first of all have to put all those ones before they remember you. So if you are thinking you are going to finish school and you send your CV and somebody is going to employ you, it's going to be very difficult. For private sector, except you are the best in the aptitude test they're going to do, or you have one first class or 2-1 there, very strong one, and you can pass the aptitude test, you may not also stand a chance. So, instead of being part of that group, that 33.33% that are unemployed, today, I want you to start thinking that you will never, ever be part of that group of people who are going to be unemployed, that you're going to create employment for yourself, you're going to be an employer of labor, and you're going to actually employ people that will work for you. And you may think it's possible. What is this man talking about? I beg, just talk and let us go. No. The same people sitting here are the same people that can be as many entrepreneurs as possible and as many employers of labor as possible. It's just for you to change your mindset. When we graduated to become staff, workers coming to look for employment. But that era is gone. The era of graduating and looking for work is gone. We are in the era where you are going to be your own employer. of labor. Okay. Now, you are even more privileged. Like the last week I had a lecture like this. There was nothing like this. I had to just talk. And today, you are so privileged to have this. And you're also privileged to have something you can record as your own after the lecture. So, that is it. Please pay attention. That is all I'm going to ask from you. Thank you. Pay attention very well. All right, so next. Okay. I try to define entrepreneurship from what I have. That was even why I had to call, because I knew something like this may happen. It is the fact that you are going to create value. Entrepreneurship is the process of creating value and creating job opportunity, taking the risk, and solving the risks. That's entrepreneurship. And so, as an entrepreneur, you are that major decision maker. You are the major decision maker, the major risk taker towards achieving your goal. And so, as an entrepreneur, just know that most of the decisions you're going to take will come from you. And you are going to take all the risks. There will be some days things may not work well. There may be some weeks, there may be some months, but you are going to take all those risks, and that's what makes you an entrepreneur. Please, next. All right. So, where are the opportunities that this man is talking about? I had to start with agriculture because that is where we have, everybody's talking about it, and I can tell you the country has done well in this area of agriculture. Many people I know today have decided to go into this, and they say they have been so overwhelmed with the kind of opportunities that exist in the agricultural sector. The animal side, there are so many animals that we know, so many of them. You cannot imagine. Okay, by the way, William, you're here. Welcome. There are so many animals. Last time I told them a story of a friend who has a piggery somewhere in Enugu. And it's not the only person I know. I know a lot of people. In fact, somebody just told me about goats. You know the goats we see every day, everywhere. Goats, you buy them when they are very little, at very little amount of money. And within a very short period, they have grown and they are producing, and they already have children or offsprings, and you can start selling. There is no goat you sell in the market today that is selling for less than 20,000 naira, even if it's in the village. There is none. And these things are things you can just acquire. You can just buy them when they are still very little, and you keep them. What do they eat? Leaves that we know. I'm sure in the villages you know a lot of people keeping goats, and that's what they keep. And so for people, you can graduate to even have things like cattle and things like that. But I can tell you, under animals, you are going to be having a lot of opportunities. Poultry is part of it. There are people who keep rabbits because people also use rabbits for one thing or the other. There are people who keep ostriches because of their eggs. There are people who keep so many things. So you need to identify what you want to do, and before you identify these things, it is very important that you identify that thing which gives you joy. There's joy in doing it. Not that you saw, oh, this man talked about one man that had piggery, so you now enter into piggery. Do you think you can tolerate the kind of life pigs live? If you cannot tolerate it, there must be something that will give you joy. Amongst all those animals, there must be something that gives you joy. Now, it may be goats, it may be poultry, it may be anything. You must have that desire, that joy. You must have the passion to do that which you want to do. And before you go into it, you must go and learn about it. Don't just go and start because you say there's money here. You just go and start. You must train in it. If it takes you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to train very well, train yourself and train, so that when you come out, you won't make mistakes and animals will not die. Go and train yourself. Sometimes you don't even need to pay money to train. If you tell somebody that has a piggery or poultry, for example, that you want to work for them, free. Don't pay me anything. Let me just work for you. Within 1 month, you even understand how they do all these businesses. Why am I saying this? Many times people think the biggest problem they have is that of funding. Capital. I don't have capital. That's what many people say. But just to tell you, there are many ways you can start learning things without even having to go and get big money from anywhere. So the first thing is that you must have passion for that which you are going to learn, and then you must learn it and you have to train yourself on it. The next one is fishery. So whatever thing I have said about animal husbandry, fishery is part of it. I know many families, I know many people who have fish farms all over the place. Now, somebody told me at the time that my Jeep, you know this tank we call GP tank, overhead tank we call GP. The thing was leaking from somewhere. He said, please, can I take that to your GP tank and I want to use it for something. I said, what do you want to use it for? Because the thing was leaking, so I was no longer using it. So he said, don't worry, just give it to me. I know when I finish, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I gave it to him. He started fish pond inside that GP tank. He cut the surface, just cut the surface, and that thing became his own fish pond. You won't believe what happened. One day he invited me to come and see my GP tank. At that time, he already acquired up to 5. Come and see the sizes of fish he had inside of these places. Big things. And of course he said, do you know how much I make from these things? So many people are coming, looking for the thing, and he's already paying school fees that he was finding so difficult to pay in those days. The same man that I talked about having piggery, he said people will come from all the way, from Bayelsa State, to even come to Enugu to buy his pigs. Because that's actually what many people like eating. Pigs, pork. The meat is called pork. So Chinese is their best food. Once you give a Chinese pork, that is, you have invited him and you have given him the kind of treat he wants. Now, because they like it, the demand for it and the demand for pork is so high, and that is why people keep them. Now, in crop farming, crop is the fact that you are going to a farm to grow. You can say you don't have enough farms. So what do? There are many empty forests. Nobody is even using them. Somebody may own them, but they don't have need for them. I know people, all they did was just to go and tell the owners of those empty fallow lands, please, can I use this place to farm? I can tell you, I will even give you things from my farm. I don't need. The person will say, go ahead and take 1 hectare, 2 hectares, 3 hectares. So what is that thing? You have good knowledge to farm, and you have to also go and learn how to do it. Whether it is rice farming or maize farming or cucumber or whatever thing it is. In the last lecture, I told them a story about a lady that went into cucumber farming. Cucumber, the one we used to do, what was it? So we just use that. Now, that thing is expensive in the market. One may actually go for 100, I don't know the price, 200 naira, 300 naira, 500 naira as the case may be. Imagine where you have baskets of those things, and these things produce so fast every time. You know, so people eat that thing every day because there must be salad every day in every food. There must be cooking done every day. So somebody having a farm as big as this hall, only for cucumbers, just know that nobody can match you in terms of income that you want to make. So there are many things you can farm, many things in the market you can farm. Now, even if you don't want to do the kind of farming we're talking about, you want a very decent one, you can go into agricultural packaging. Packaging. Now, there are so many packaging companies in the country. All you need to do is, even if it's the same cucumber you want to package, you can package, please pay attention, the two of you, pay attention. You can package the cucumber and give it a name. There are people, what they package is cashew nuts. Cashew nuts. I was in one supermarket the other day and I saw cashew nuts packaged in a very small pack like this, but the package was looking so good. And it was just made locally. One company somewhere in Abuja. I said, can you imagine? Somebody has decided to just go and buy the bottled or the raw cashew nuts and packaging it, and big supermarkets are now buying. So that could be an opportunity for you if you don't want to go into the real agricultural production. You can actually package and just get NAFDAC number. NAFDAC numbers are not so difficult to have today. They have a simple one for people who want to do packaging only. So just packaging will give you the opportunity that you want. The one that is very common is fashion and dressmaking. Many people, and I'm sure some of you seated here, are already doing that. You make clothing, you sell clothing that you are not even making. Some of you have some apps you go to, and they will show you all kinds of things. And you can even have your own app that people are already ordering from. People order from them. You don't even have this clothing, it's just that you have access to supply, you have access to demand. Your own is just to play the role of a middleman, and you do advert. People will say, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. You collect from the other end, and you deliver to the people who demand. So it's just for you to determine what you want. And these things are so simple. But if you want to make the clothing yourself, whether you have the money to acquire a shop or the tailors, it is important that you understand how to sew. Take your time out and go and learn 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months sewing class. You will understand how to sew, and that will help you to be an expert in what you're doing. Just 1 minute, let me take water. So, there are many opportunities in these areas. They make clothing, something I wear. What I'm wearing, many of you are wearing. You cannot imagine how much these people collect from us. I told them a story of somebody who left as a magistrate the last time. He was a magistrate, somebody I know very well, who schooled in University of Ife. He read law. Magistrate. But today he has a clothing label that everybody's looking for. He has outlets in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, in Enugu, and other places. If you know what he sells on a daily basis, all the people working for him are all graduates. And so he is so satisfied doing what he's doing, sewing for men only. And I can tell you there's none he sells that is less than 100,000. There's none. He will just sell, he will just make the clothing, and you will like them. There is none that is less than 100,000. For some other ones that are also making dresses for women, you know, this period, Christmas period, is a seasonal period. It's a period that many tailors are going to tell you we are no longer collecting clothing. We're not going to collect again because the demand for their services is so high. So why are we always struggling to give people things to sew for us? And they will tell us they will not even sew, they don't have the time. That will tell you there is so much gap to be filled by people sitting here. So much gap to be filled. Why can't we just decide for women, for both men and women, for children, bedsheets and duvet? The duvet we use in our homes, every hotel that exists in Nigeria uses a duvet in this country. The police, the army, the navy, immigrations, civil defense, school uniforms. Imagine the number of schools. And so uniforms all over the place. There are only few people doing these things. You can fit into that gap that exists in these places. Again, I told them a story of Vodi. Vodi was the name of the guy who used to sell shirts. He used to go to Aba to get bales of materials in this town. We would come from our office then to check what he brought. Each time he came back from Aba, he would call and would say, Oga, I just came back from Aba. Come and see which materials you would like. We would go. We would just go and pick one material or maybe three or so. He would sew shirts for us. Then he used to charge us 3,000 naira to make the shirt with his own material. This thing I'm talking about happened in 2005, 2006. Today, Vodi is one of the richest entrepreneurs in this town. Young man, I'm older than him, you know, and one of the richest. Today he sews for the army, for the police, for Air Force, for Navy. His factory is more than this space. He has like 2 major buildings in Maitama in Abuja. Somebody in 2005 used to go and buy 1 bale of materials to come and sew. So, it's for you to decide whether you want to join the numbers of unemployed people or whether you want to think of what to do for yourself from now. Okay, there are blinds at homes, window blinds. In offices, there are blinds. Something we call curtain. Imagine the number of homes in this country. Somebody has to provide those blinds for them. Windows, offices, in our homes and everywhere. That's an opportunity that has to be filled. The people doing all these things are not anywhere knowledgeable. And so, if you get into any of these things, everybody's going to know you within a very short period. And you're going to be probably the next Vodi that we are talking about. I opened the newspaper one day, and I saw a story written by somebody concerning the same Vodi, how the boy transformed to become the kind of millionaire he is today. And I think it is an opportunity that all of us can take. The next opportunity comes in the furniture making. Where you're seated today was made by somebody. I'm sure the people that did these things were not brought from outside the country. Maybe these ones were imported. But the opportunities that exist in this place, in woodwork, if you know the number of schools that exist in Nigeria, in Abuja, in Nigeria, then you know that a particular class in a school has up to 25 children, and imagine the number of classes in one school, and imagine the number of schools that exist in Abuja and everywhere in the country. So that will tell you the kind of opportunities that exist for you to start woodwork. Go and learn it. I don't know if you have seen certain videos I've seen about graduates. There was one boy who studied, I think, chemical engineering in London. He had masters. He came back, went to Benin, somewhere in Benin, and learned how to do woodwork. So they were showcasing him the other day in the TV, and I watched that boy. I just knew that, look, this is somebody who was focused. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. And so he came back after studying either chemical engineering or something, and decided to go into, he's one of the best furniture makers today in this country. And there are many of them like that. Again, such opportunities exist in churches of all kinds. Churches also need this kind of woodwork. The offices we occupy, if you know the number of offices in this country, in the ministries, in the parastatals, all those tables were not imported. They are made here, and somebody is making those chairs. There's one furniture guy. This guy is from, I think, Kaduna State. He made certain furniture for me, and I can tell you, if I tell you how much I paid him for all those things he did, just within a very short period. And just me, out of many other people that he was doing furniture for. And so I wonder why we cannot sit down and think of such opportunities that exist in the areas of woodwork. What about our homes? We have furniture all over our homes, and somebody is doing them. Unfortunately, most of the people doing all these things didn't go to school. And so we are now thinking, because the people working on these things didn't go to school, those things are meant for people who didn't go to school. It's only in this country we have this mindset. In ordinary Ghana here, if you go to a technical college where you're learning how to be a plumber, nobody will even look down on you, because the man who graduated from university will not say, oh, I am superior to this person. No. In the U.S., those are the people that make all the money. If you go to the U.S. and you're a plumber, somebody's plumbing work will happen, and another person, there's no work you do that you collect anything less than $100, even if it's just for 5 minutes. And you have many of such things going on. So the best thing is just to go and learn how to become one, so that you can have other opportunities in making furniture for homes, upholstery, the kind you're sitting down on now, were made by human beings. So start thinking here. Start thinking, as I go through these things, there must be one your mind will tell you, this is the one I'm going to settle for. This is the one I'm going to settle for. So that is the essence of this opportunity. Metalworks. I'm sure somebody's saying, does this man want me to be a welder? Is that what he's saying? Okay. What I want you to do is not to be a welder, but to go and learn how to do good metalworks. You see a lot of corrugated iron sheets, or this kind of, if you look at this thing, somebody did this, machines did this. It's for you to go and understand how this is done and decide that, oh, there are opportunities in this area. Also last week, I told them a story of a colleague of mine in banking who left and started a company he called Gatemen Limited. They do automated gates that you press a button, gate will open, you press a button, the thing will close. And when you see the kind of gates he does, I had one. I had one, but because I moved from where I used to live, I didn't move with it, because the thing also had its issues. There was one particular day I came back, I heard the dogs barking. Only for me to look through the window, and I saw my gate wide open. The automated gate malfunctioned, and the thing opened at the middle of the night on its own. So I pressed the button to close it. I couldn't. I had to come out at the middle of the night to try to close it physically. And that was when I decided I wasn't going to use it again. But it's not only about automation of the gates. He does gates for embassies, for state governments, for government houses. And I know how rich this guy has become ever he went into gate making, doors, security doors. Beautiful doors are made in this country just from metalworks. When I was talking about opportunities that exist in schools, most of the school chairs are also combined with metalworks. Before you get the wood on top, that opportunity exists. And I can tell you, these things exist every day. There are tables made. These protectors, count the number of protectors that are in this building alone. Count the number of buildings that are existing today in this country. Know that nobody can build without protectors. That is, even if you decide that all you're going to do is to build protectors, that's enough. That's enough. That will make you. You can pay all the school fees, you can pay all the rents, and you won't have to go and talk to anybody to say, they sacked me. Who sacked you? You decided to be sacked. Because if you were an entrepreneur from the beginning, you won't tell such stories. There must be an opportunity for you to make money. Tankers, all the tankers that carry fuel from one part of the country to another, were built by somebody in this town, in this country. If you go to somewhere in Kaduna or somewhere around KB or so, you see a lot of those people making those tankers. Do you know how much the owners of the tankers pay for these tankers? If you do one or even two in a year, you don't need to work again for that particular year. So if those opportunities are existing, why are we allowing people who didn't go to school to have them when we can actually be the owners of these businesses? Now, again, you talk about capital to start. Those guys started from the scratch. Nobody gave them capital. But you must understand what you're doing to have these things done. If you don't want to do it yourself, hire the people that do them. Pay them salaries, and they will do what you want them to do. And so these are opportunities. The body of vehicles, all the trucks, all the lorries that we see, trailer, all those bodies were built by human beings. They were built by human beings. And those things cost millions of naira to be built. Somebody's collecting them and putting it inside his pocket. That's an opportunity there. Roofing, a building like this must have had some iron works that happened. You don't build this kind of building with wood for roofing. A lot of iron work has gone through here for this building to be standing like this. Somebody did it. I'm not saying you must be the person that will climb, but you can be the employer of the people that are climbing to get these things done. Your own is that you must understand the business and you must go and get the business and they will do it for you. There are many of such opportunities in this country. Now, this is where the world is today. We are not there yet. This is where the world will be tomorrow, and this is where the world will remain even after tomorrow. ICT. The billionaires that have emerged from this area are uncountable all over the world. You have heard, you know all their names. You even know more of them than myself. Just for even understanding, you don't need to read computer science. You may be a medical doctor, you may be a nurse, you may be an estate developer. If you understand what it means to be a developer, you can develop certain apps that can do certain things. Even if you don't want to do, or probably you think because you didn't study computer science, you can hire 1, 2, 3 developers and put them. Oh boy, come. For this period of time, we're going to work together. We will eventually go to how these things are funded. We'll eventually get there. There are so many apps today that you open. As soon as you open them, monies are dropping into somebody's account. Just for opening an app and doing one search. There was one day, I didn't even know that the dictionary in my phone was attached to my data. And so I opened it, and I saw that the thing was not opening. I said, what is wrong with this thing? I noticed that probably the data finished, or there was no data network around where I was. It was then I realized that the dictionary had been opening all the time. So even if it is for you to put something you think people will benefit from, whatever thing it is, even if it's to make medical inquiries, somebody clicks on an app just to make a medical inquiry, and as they are making, somebody's responding, you are making money. You are making money. My friend's son is a musician. He does not play any instrument. What he does is to put certain things together. I don't know what it's called though, but I know that his father told me, the other day he was asking me, is there any way you can help me invest $10,000 every month? Because that's actually about the amount my son makes for now. We know the thing will continue to increase. $10,000 every month. Multiply it by the value of Naira today. Multiply it. And so, I don't know what the boy does. Some people go to whatever thing he puts together, they get it downloaded and they use it. I don't know what it is. But that's because ICT is working somewhere there. So, this is an opportunity for you. There must be something, think about something it is you're going to do. Call it any kind of inquiry. In fact, my son just graduated from Covenant University. What they did with his friends, they are putting an app together. They are already doing something. So far, no money has been spent. They are just the same people putting things together. What are they trying to do? Let me just sell out whatever thing it is they are doing. To get people who are doing designs of various clothings, designs all over the world, to match them to the people who need those designs, and they will just put their measurements and everything together, and I don't know how it's going to work for them, but these guys are very optimistic about it. That is just putting heads together. So in this area of ICT, a lot is happening, and once you miss this opportunity, you know that you have lost it. So whatever thing that comes in ICT, try to understand it. Try to understand it. Many years ago, when I was still young in banking, we had one training that was done. One man came from South Africa then to train us. He told us that the technology, the money in the air was 100 times more than the money on the ground, and that the technology and the money involved in tapping the technology, the money in the air, is far, far less than the technology and money involved in tapping the technology down. Nobody made sense out of what he said. Nobody made sense out of what he said. It was only after it just occurred to me that, then DSTV came out. DSTV came out. And I saw how people were queuing. The queue would start from here and end up in that place just to pay for DSTV. DSTV was just in the air, technology in the air. People are paying, queuing to pay. And what he talked about, the money on the ground, probably the oil, the gold, the diamond. To dig the oil, you probably spend billions of dollars. But to tap from the air, you need probably only laptop and a little thing here and there. The richest men, about 20 years ago, the richest men in the world, none was an ICT person. None. All of them were in different things, oil and gas, estates, this one, that one, manufacturing. Today, the first 20 richest men in the world are all ICT people. So that's how the world has evolved. So the next, no, we're still there. Go back there. There is blockchain technology. Oh, sorry, there should be a H there. Blockchain technology. Now, this is one area all of you should pay attention to. All the things I talked about, ICT, all the things happening are happening because of blockchain technology. It is on this that cryptocurrency is sitting on. It is on this that all the payment systems today we have, they are sitting on. OPay, Paystack, all of them are sitting on blockchain technology. We don't even have 0.001% of experts in this area. So you guys should pay attention to that. If you want to go and specialize in it, that would be very fine. Pay attention to that because that is where the technology is going to. If you go to Emma Plaza, where we go and buy phones and repair our phones, you see all those cars that are parked there. Most of those cars are parked, apart from the people who own those phones, most of them are also parked by people who are repairing these phones. Last week I told them, one day I went to repair my phone. I asked the guy repairing, like, how much do you make in a day? Because just his laptop, small table on the corridor. He said, on an average day, it depends. Between 80 to 100,000 to 200, depending on what he does on that particular day. And I know that day, he collected over 10,000 naira from me for just a small repair. And of course, you know that there are certain repairs that will cost far more than this. I'm not talking about if you change anything. Do you know that? Depending on the phone you use. Those people that are repairing these phones, don't think they are roadside people. Most of them are graduates. And so, it is not late for you to go and start learning how to repair phones. Because as far as we are concerned today, phones are still going to stay for a reasonable while. Laptops and desktops, you know, a lot of these guys are making their monies for repairing your laptops. There was even one I wanted to send somebody to at GSM Village. Come and see how people were waiting to collect their laptops from this guy who was repairing. And so recently from my office, I told them to take the 2 laptops that were bad to the guy. And there was none. He collected anything less than, I think one was 11,000. The other one was something 15,000 or so. Just to repair. These guys collect this kind of money every day. So if they can collect such monies, you can as well collect them. Only if you decide which one you want to do. Networking is for IT people, and you don't also need to be an IT person to learn networking. This is just to make sure that computer A can interact with computer B, and it can interact with the mainframe and things like that, either through Bluetooth or anyhow. These people are in high demand, even outside this country. Any person that has to do with anything that has to do with IT, in high demand in outside the country, are even here. The CCTV, most of the people who do CCTV are not the people who climb up to go and wire your house and all those, or your office. Because of the insecurity in this country, virtually every house, every office, every institution has CCTV. There is no CCTV you install that is less than 350,000, even if you want just only one camera. There's none, except the camera or the wires are inferior. So if people pay this kind of monies, and of course, once they are up to 4, 5, they are up to 1 million plus. If people pay this kind of money, why do we allow some people to be making those monies, and we are here sitting down, waiting, carrying our certificates when we graduate, waiting for who will employ us? And the same thing you would have owned, the business of doing CCTV, is the same thing. Maybe somebody will now employ you to be the sales rep, the marketing rep for a CCTV company, when you could have actually been the major person, the major employer of that place, just because you did not learn on how to do that. Car tracking, we know this particular service. This is another opportunity you can go and learn. I don't think it will take you up to 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, to learn how to track cars. The hardware, the things you use, you're not the person producing them. So your own is just to buy them and come and fix. Somebody will pay you 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, as the case may be, to track cars. And so if you just have a place where you say, or even in your Facebook page or social media page, you send things about car tracking, people are going to buy. I bought many solar street lights for my house here, and for some other things I'm doing here, and then for my house in the village. I bought well over 30 through something somebody published in the social media. I said, supply me so number. If this is a quality, supply. So if you do car tracking and you can push that into your social media, you'll be so surprised how many people that want you to come. Come and put this one here, come and put this one here. Now, one day, I told my driver to come and pick me up at the airport. And so I wanted to know whether he had left the house. So I used the car tracker I had in my phone to know whether he had moved. I stay somewhere they call Blue Fountain Estate, somewhere near Gwarimpa. And so normally the route should be along that way to airport. But from when I looked at my phone, I saw that this man was somewhere in Wuse Zone 1, because I had a tracker. And so if people know the benefits they're going to have, not just only when the car is stolen, you can send your driver to go buy something or to go do something, or your children will go out with the car. Your tracker should be able to say where they are. Or they kidnap somebody in that car, or they steal the car. The tracker will. So when people know these benefits and you advertise it in the social media, people are going to call you, and in minutes you will deliver it and you walk away. TV repairs. Everybody watches TV every day. These TVs spoil once in a while. I told them last week, the man who has been buying all the lands in my village, all he does is just TV repairs. Any land that comes out, if the land value of the land is 1 million, the man is ready to price 3 million. They say, go and tell him he will buy. TV repairs. He has like 3 upstairs in my village. He doesn't do any other thing, just to repair TV. So I don't know why we allow people to take all these opportunities when we can actually do them. All we need to do is to go and learn how to do those things. As a graduate, you will learn these things 10 times faster than somebody who didn't go to university. So you will learn these things 10 times faster, and don't ever think because you're a graduate there are things you cannot do. That era is gone. Photographers that are graduates are the best photographers that we see today. This lady that became very popular in Lagos, T.Y. Bell, Yes, that girl, that lady. She read economics. And many people know. And she decided to just make a niche for herself in that area. If it's not her photograph, nobody wants to use it in Lagos and even everywhere else. So don't think, photography is for... I have in my club, IBB Golf Club, somebody who was even the captain of the club. He read law. I know him. He read law. He is a photographer. That's all he does. He is making a lot of money for being a photographer because he has passion for that. Okay, so great opportunities exist in this area. Body works of motor. There's somewhere in Gudu, one man called Stone Cold. Stone Cold repairs. He does body work of cars. That means if your car has something like accident or you want to repaint or anything like that, he has something we call oven. An oven, something that looks like an oven. If he sprays your car in that place, you would think it was done by the manufacturers of that car. There won't be any difference between his own and the one done by the manufacturers of the car. So even if that's what you'd want to do, and I know how much that guy collects from everybody. During this period of Christmas, if you bring your car now, he will tell you he doesn't have time because he cannot finish before Christmas. And so people queue to do their cars with him. Even other people bring cars from their various workshops to come and do because he has an oven where he can spray. Engine works. This is also an area where many graduates have been. I know a good number of them who are graduates. They didn't have to study automobile engineering or mechanical engineering. They studied some other things, but decided to go and learn these things. But in going to learn this, don't be a jack of all trades. Decide on where and which particular vehicles to be an expert in. Let everybody know that, if it is Mercedes, this is the man to call. If it is BMW, this is the man to call. If it is Toyota cars, this is the man to call. Let everybody know you, because if I have an issue with any car and I tell them, please, do you know who is an expert in this? They can direct me from town to Gwagwalada just because there's an expert in this particular area in Gwagwalada. Everybody will look for you. Once they know, you know what you're doing. And just like parents want their children to be the best, to even have the best education, anybody who has a car, especially a private car, wants to have the best mechanic. So that's an area you can think of. Don't forget that companies like Coscharis that specialize in BMW and Jaguar and all those, the people who are working in the workshop are all graduates. They don't employ anybody that's not a graduate. So if you can go and be a graduate mechanic, let's call them mechanic for simplicity, then you can as well be your own and go and learn it and pull out and become your own. And so that opportunity also exists. Automated tire center, we see a lot of them in town where a small machine, a machine will just lift the vehicle up and they will change the tires, and those things may look complicated, but they don't cost so much money. So if that is one area you want to check and concentrate on, you can actually start with 1 and 2 and 3. Before you know it, everybody knows that this is what you do. Go to that place, they do it very well. Go there, and that is it. You know, there is a machine, a small machine that can detect the faults in all these vehicles. And I know that you take your car to somewhere, the mechanic will say, we are taking it to computer. They'll call it computer. We are taking it to computer. To detect the fault in your car, somebody's taking up to 10,000 from you, just to detect the fault. They'll plug the thing to the car and plug it to the machine, to the laptop. Because there is an app they have, that thing will just detect the fault. It is somebody's work. So you see cars coming to you, or you going to those cars if they can't move them, and you are making your money. You don't even need to. That one does not require a building. It requires that you move, or they'll come to you. You detect their faults. There's glass repair and fixing. There are sales of all these cars. You can do all these things online. Post the thing to your social media, and everybody will know that you do these things, and they will be subscribing for what you are doing. You know, I expose you to some of these things because many times people are so confused about which business opportunity they want to go into or not. You are so confused because you have not done what you're supposed to do. You're so confused because you have not been exposed to this. And I can tell you, the things you're seeing here, they are not exhaustive at all. For example, when I finish, you won't even see me talk about music or these guys in Nollywood and things like that, because there are many opportunities I haven't put down. So if music and all those acting in the movie, if those things are your passion, that is another area you have to also go to. And you know that people in music, the millionaires we have today are in the music world of Nigeria. And they are doing exploits. In fact, for countries outside Nigeria, any country we enter into, listen very well to any music playing, it's a Nigerian music. And you just wonder, is that how Nigerian music is loved all over the world? Nigerian music is all over the place. You know, so that is for music. For these opportunities, there is none here that's not a major opportunity for you to have your livelihood in. Plaster of Paris is the POP. That's the full name for POP that you see in houses. This thing is that which, of course, takes some time to finish. But like I said, always, you don't have to be the person climbing up to go and do it. But you can be the employer of the people doing it. Your own is to get the business, and people are going to be doing it. The most important thing is that the people who are doing it so well that everybody is going to be looking for them or looking for you so that you get your workers to go and do. I have a lady, I'm a Rotarian. This lady is in my club. She's a painter. She has masters. In fact, her masters, she even had it outside this country. But what she does is painting. She has so much joy doing painting. She's a painter. So most of us that want one place touched or the other in homes or anywhere, people call her everywhere. She's all over the place, all over this country, traveling to go and do painting. Just because they know she does a good job. She's a graduate, like I said. So don't think, oh, painting is only for men. No. Painting is also for women, because I just told you about one now. So that's that opportunity there. Block molding is an opportunity. Now, what do you have to do in all these things to differentiate yourself from others? Make sure that if you're going into block molding, you're not going to be like any other block molder. What's special about your own? The fact that you can carry a block and drop it on the ground and it will not break. every builder wants that type, especially if I'm building my own house, or if, of course, the builders that will want to go to the cheaper ones are the ones who have been paid some money to go and build. But if owner of a house knows whether I'm living in it or it's for commercial purpose, if I know there is a place I'm going to get a block, if I throw that block on the ground, it's not going to break. That's where I'm going to buy my blocks from. It does not matter the price. I'll go there. So tiling, roofing, to build. There are people who are builders. Many people that have built, certain buildings I've had, they didn't study civil engineering, didn't study architecture, didn't study building technology. Some of them study some other things, but they build. So your own is to hire the best hands. Hire all these engineers that will. So before you know it, everybody knows you as a builder. They'll be calling you because you put so much attention to details, making sure that everything is well done. And everybody will be calling you to come and do their building. Prof, I noticed that these guys are so well behaved than the last week people. Maybe because of the crowd and number. See how attentive these ones are. Yeah, that's very good. So, water processing and water channels. You see, I put water processing because most homes want their water to be purified. Most homes you see in this town, they want their water to be purified. So people do all those things to make sure that water comes from tap and pass through a system, reverse osmosis and all those things, and they come into the house and you're drinking clean water, even cleaner than the one we buy from bottled water. There are such people who do them. You don't need to own. Your own is to go and learn. So when you're talking about capital, you don't need to go and have capital. Your own is to go and learn so that people can call you so that you can do. You don't need to have an office where you pay for. You can operate from your house because you have a mobile phone. So these are opportunities for people, and these things cost a lot of money. They cost a lot of money. Water channel is that you build, and there are channels that you don't want water to flow and mess up your ground. So you build a channel that will channel the water to somewhere. I know how much people pay for those things. Somebody is doing them, and they're collecting a lot of money for them. Catering is where I see a lot of people also playing in. Outdoor, indoor, and bulk delivery for homes. People keep coming up with things. Of course, we know that people do events and we go out and cook for them and we serve them and we make money. We also know that we can have a restaurant, people come there and eat good food. People will know that, oh, if I go to this restaurant, I'll eat good food. People can travel a very long distance just to get good food. People can. And they're ready to pay an amount of money for it. Now, the bulk supply I mentioned there is that there are many people today, many women and many families who are not ready to enter the kitchen and cook. They don't have energy, or their work will not allow them to go to the market and buy things and cook. So what they do is they call people who do all this bulk cooking. You cook different kinds of soup for them and put in a container and bring. They will store in their various fridges, and I'm sure you people know these ones are happening. There are some, all they do is so many things are happening, in this area. As you tell them ahead of time when you want it and how you want it, and the number of people that will eat within the period, it is on their own. You don't need to prompt them. They will be repeating. They will come and even take the one that has remained. But they have paid for it. Don't forget they have paid for it. The people also are willing to give out the one that remained because washing it is a problem for them. It's a problem. So the one that has remained, they will take it away, supply you with a new one of different type, and they are making their money from it. And so it's not only women that do this, men can also do it. And don't think this thing can pay all the school fees you want to pay. It can pay the rent you want to pay. It can buy your TV. It can buy your DSTV. So these things can pay your bills. That is the thing about catering. And post anything online today, you must have people reacting. Especially if the thing looks, I'm sure you have all seen people who have cooked delicious food. It may be not, but it looks delicious. And they'll post it. Reaction will come immediately because people are always hungry now. They must eat. And so, how much you can deliver? And of course, there are dispatch riders that can always deliver all these things to these people. So you indeed can keep servicing various offices by having one delivery motorcycle, and the person will be delivering and you are doing the cooking. That's an opportunity for you. It's just for you to know which one you want to do. In export, there are many opportunities here. Most of us come from this part of the country where we have cashew nuts, cashew fruits. As you are passing, you can even, with 100 naira, you can buy 2 baskets during the season of cashew. And we have a lot of them both in Abuja and outside Abuja. In Benue State, in Enugu State, Kogi State, all those areas. This thing is in very high demand, and it's a lot of money outside this country. Your own is just to gather. There are people who are ready to buy them from you. Keep gathering them. There are people who process them. If you want to also go into processing, you can make a lot of money from cashew nuts. You don't have to be the person entering the bush. You can collect. You can have a collection center where people who have will bring to you. You just pay them. And how do you even pay sometimes? You can collect money from people who want to buy them from you because there are off-takers. Most Indian companies are off-takers from you. So they can even deposit their money with you. Once they can trust you, they can deposit their money with you, and you can use their money to purchase for them. And you can actually continue to do this. You are standing between the people who have and the people who are going to buy from you. Export is that which every person should be thinking about now. When the exchange rate is like this, the one we have now, where Naira is $1 is going for 570, 560. This is the time to think about export. This is the time to think about export because you just export the same thing you used to export before. The value you get will be almost 3 times the value you used to get before. But the price has not changed. So if you used to sell, say, a ton of cashew nuts, if you used to sell it for $1,000, the same $1,000 then is the value today is going to triple. So this is the time to think of export because of the exchange rate that we have. Many people come from the part of the country where you have sesame seeds. This thing is also in high demand because from here they also make sesame seed oil, and it's in high demand. The demand for it is very high. Look for it, go look for it, and start looking for how to export. Cotton is in this country. We have a lot of it. Look for it and find market. You see, that's the good thing about Google. Google will show you people who import all these things. From there, you can start making contacts. You may not succeed on the first day. You may not succeed on the first week. But once you concentrate on what you want to do, you will make inroads into getting enough information on people who are going to buy from you. Last week, when I came here, I told them a story of a lady who gave a testimony in our church. How she posted her charcoal in the social media. She got a call from some guys from Dubai. She thought they were dupes. And so the people asked her, can you send more samples of this? Just in 2 different envelopes. She packaged and sent to an address they gave her. And they asked her, what quantity of this can you send us in containers? She said, any quantity you want. Because they didn't trust her well enough, they said, get us 2 containers of this, your charcoal. And they sent money to her ahead of time, in dollars. So she gathered these things and sent to Dubai. When those guys received the 2, the next order was 10 containers. This testimony was given sometime last year. I don't know how many containers she's sending out now to that same country and probably to other countries. That is the beauty of export. Your money will come in hard currency and you change it in the current exchange rate we have today. You're a rich person. So we have all these things in abundant in this country. Which one do you have interest in? Which one can you have? Palm oil is in high demand. Okay, I'm seeing palm oil rubber. That's a mistake. So palm oil is different from the rubber. Rubber should have come under it. Palm oil is abundant in the east, the whole of east, south, southeast. If you export, let me not even say a container. Exporting means you can even get into an agreement with people who are selling, and you will just export together. The money you will get, you cannot imagine it. You cannot imagine it. By the way, palm oil, even in the local market, palm oil is, the palm oil you will produce in this market cannot serve up to 40% of the need of this market. That's why we still import. We still import palm oil into this country because the ones we are producing locally can only serve 40% of the demand in the country. That's why we import it still. Shea butter is in high demand all over the world. Do you know what shea butter is? We all know what it is. Do we know? Yes. Shea butter is in very high demand all over the world. So, all you need to do, get it in any form, package it. Each time I go to Ghana, there is just at their airport, I'll buy their shea butter because that one looks very natural and very good. And of course, the good thing is that it's packaged. It has a name. It has a label. They went through quality control. Once you can find a small label and register it, and you can export this thing to all countries of the world. All countries of the world because they need it. I have a sister-in-law in the U.S. Each time anybody comes home from the U.S., the only demand she will make will be, please send me some cans of shea butter. So the demand is very high. Cocoa, groundnuts, cassava, the need for them cannot be overemphasized, especially outside the country. This is an area people don't look into also. But I also told them a story of a lady in Lagos related to my friend who has a shoe factory and is doing so well. She produces so well and all those shoes are so beautiful. The market, she said she cannot meet the demand for her products because children must go to school. Children must go to school. In one school, some of them have up to 1,000 children. That is already 1,000 pairs of shoes in that one school alone. So imagine the number of schools. Imagine that you even have 2% of the market of school shoes. Imagine how many shoes you are going to be selling every year. Children continue to grow, and once they use one now, they may not use it next year. So the market is constantly there. Constantly there. Female shoes, once you do a good job, the ladies will like your shoes, they will continue to buy. Male shoes, belts, bags, military shoes, paramilitary shoes, NYC. Now, I keep saying these things because of the numbers, because any type of business you want to do, look at the size of your market. What size of the market do you have? The size of market of each of these things. Imagine the number of military men and you do good shoes. Okay, today, the military are trying to buy their shoes from Aba market. Most of those people doing all those shoes in Aba didn't go to school. They have come, I have watched their trade fair. They called it Made in Nigeria Trade Fair. They came from Aba, sponsored by their governor, and you could see that they needed some improvement in what they were doing. Imagine you go into this and learn it very, very well. Your shoes are going to be better than what they're producing, and everybody will want to buy from you. The market is so huge and so large. NYC is a program that must happen every year. Just keep imagining the number of NYC members every year, and you do their shoes, and NYC is able to see your canvas, your shoes, and the key into it. That's a lot of opportunity. So, like I said before, as I go through these things, your mind should be telling you where you are going to pitch your tent. Where you're going to pitch your tent. Make sure that you will not leave this place without agreeing that this is what you're going to start doing from now. School is not a hindrance. You have to start planning even while you are in school. Let me explain that. You may think you don't have the time, but think of the number of idle times you have in the school. Doing nothing or sitting down doing nothing, if only those times can be utilized in putting something down. Putting something down, then just know that you're already getting ready to succeed in your life. So what are the challenges that we have? The first one is fear. Fear of failure. This is number one challenge. We have said all these things, and somebody is telling me in her mind or his mind, this man is just to talk. You think it's easy. That's number one thing. That fear is already coming inside your mind. That is the first thing you have to deal with. Fear. Once you can deal with this first one, everything is taken care of. Will I succeed or will I not succeed? Don't even be afraid whether you succeed or not. Take a plunge into there. Take a plunge. Deal with that fear. And the next challenge is the lack of will and commitment. Lack of will. If you must have a strong willpower to succeed. If this is what you have planned to do, you must have a strong willpower to succeed. The next problem is that people want to get into businesses, into opportunities without training at all in them. I started here by saying, please don't go into any business if you have not trained. Don't say you are going to start sewing clothing because you're going to invite tailors, then you're not going to train in it. No. Let it be known by the people coming in that you are the person having your tape on your neck and you're the person measuring them. Measurement is a training on its own. Cutting the clothes is a training on its own. Let it be that the tailors, their own is just to join the clothing. Because the idea you have in your head is different from what the tailor has. And so you must train very well in each of these things for you to know how to have them, how to succeed in them. Lack of capacity. You must have capacity for what you want to enter into. Capacity means you must plan. You must plan. You must plan. Okay. Now, when you go to, we're still going to go to those, even though you may not find it in the slides, but I will talk about them. You must do your business plan very, very well. Business plan is that document which you must put together. The next person will see, oh, this person is really serious. Without business plan, even for yourself, you have to do a business plan, which is what you're going to be following. You cannot just go into one business and walk into it and walk like you don't have a purpose. You must do a business plan for yourself, for your company, and that business plan must be that which will happen now, next year, 5 years, in the next 5 years. Don't do a short-term business plan. Do it in such a way that this is what I plan to do in the next 5 years. And follow that plan. Of course, you can always be reviewing it. The economy changes, you review your business plan. The economic situation changes, you review your business plan. The environment changes, you review your business plan. There was COVID for a period of 1 year. Your business plan will change. So you have to continue to review based on the situations you find yourself. So, once you have business plan, it is easy for you to get funding, which is the next thing. There are many people out there. There are many people out there looking for good business to invest in. There are many people out there looking for good businesses to invest in. Once you identify a good business you want to go into, you have to understand how to write good business plan. If you Google how to write a successful business plan, they will show you the format on how to write a good business plan. If you are not certain you can do it well, engage somebody else who knows how to do it to write you a very good business plan. In business plans, the financial implications of the business you want to do must be there. All the weaknesses and strengths and opportunities of the business and the marketing potentials must be there. And so that an investor seeing your business plan will see that, oh, in the next 1 year, I'm going to get my money back. In the next 1 year, I'm going to start making this profit if it becomes an equity holder with you. So there are many people out there looking for businesses to invest in. We call them venture capitalists. They may be outside the country, they may be inside this country. There are many of them. Like I said the last time, Google venture capitalists in Nigeria, you see a good number of them. I thought I was going to show you that slide, but it's not here. There are venture capitalists that all they want to see is, this is a business plan you have, this is a business proposal you have, and it is good. They want to invest in it. They will make their inputs, but they will fund it. So identify them. There are also many opportunities for you to fund your business. Many opportunities to fund your business. Now, note that in talking about challenges, I did not put funding as number one. In fact, if I have more opportunity, I'll make it the last. Because there are many of them that you don't even need funding to start with. It's just for you to use your head. Take from here, be a middleman, and release to this place. And so, if you must continue to look for funding, depending on what kind of business you want to do, there are many organizations in Nigeria, many development partners, many development banks that actually give you such opportunity. One of them is Bank of Industry. They are looking for entrepreneurs that have genuine business. Once you have your business plan, in fact, not all the loans that they even require collateral. There is one, 10 million and below. They don't need collateral from you, but they need a very good business plan from you, and they will just follow you up to make sure that you are succeeding in the business. So once you have such a thing, and you have written a good business plan, please, in this Abuja, their office is somewhere around the central business area. Bank of Industry has office somewhere around the central business area. Identify where they are, walk up there, ask for their branch manager. Show them your business plan, tell them what you want to do. You'll be so surprised they'll be interested in it. Even amounts less than 10 million, you can get from them. Go to Smedan. Smedan is a parastatal under trade and investment. They are in Abuja also. They have their office in Port Harcourt Crescent off Gimbia Street in Area 11. If you go there, tell them what you want. Tell them what you have done. They will direct you better. There are many of such places. I have also mentioned that there are many venture capitalists. Now, there are certain things that happen in this country. If you are not paying attention, you will not know. We call it pitching. A pitching day. Pitching day is a day where venture capitalists will meet with innovators like you, people who have business plans, and you come together. By the time they pitch you with such people, you finish making your presentation, one venture capitalist will say, I'm interested in this person, I want to be part of the business he's doing. There are two ways they can be part of your business, either by giving you the money or by having part of your equity. That means sharing the company with you, and that is just how it works. Now, sometimes you may also need to talk to your commercial banks, the banks that exist today, but of course, their conditions are usually very tough for you. But if it is that which you want to have immediately, you can actually approach your commercial banks. Funding can actually come from family members, depending on how sound your family members are to fund your business. You can do crowdfunding. 20 of you can come together. So, boy, each person should go and bring 500,000. That one will be easy to bring. 20 of you can come together to do the same business, and you crowdfund, and all of you will come together and fund it, and all of you will be so successful. You don't need to. You must not always want to run your own business. It is always good to have people with different competencies. If somebody is good in developing as a computer developer, software developer, another person may be good in marketing, another person may be good in finance, another person may be good in one other thing. You guys can come together and all of you will bring your talents to bear so that you succeed in what you're doing. And I have also discovered that when people are doing businesses with partners, they appear to be more serious because everybody will just be so committed because nobody will want to fail the other. In conclusion, I said that Rome was not built in a day. Next slide. Rome was not built in a day. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. These are things we already know. They say this, we hear these things. I didn't manufacture them. I'm only saying them because they are there, they have been there. In most of these things, you have to pray and ask God for direction. God will always direct you so that his direction will match your interest in your heart. Take that bold step. Last week, I told them the story of the 4 leprous men in the Bible, and I'm going to tell the story now. Last week. I didn't even finish that story, but I'm going to finish it. This is a story of, some of you know that story, a story of 4 leprous men at the gate of Samaria. There was so much famine. The famine was so much that women were even eating their own children as food. That was how famine is, lack of food. No water, no food. So they will eat, this person will eat this person's child today, they will go and eat another person's child because that was the only way of survival. Then these 4 leprous men, you know, they had leper. They had leprosy, sorry. They were lepers. And so they were begging for money. Nobody was giving them kobo again because there was no money anywhere. Nobody was giving them money. So if they remained where they were, they would die of hunger. If they enter the city, they would die of hunger. So one day, one of them just said, gentlemen, why do we stay here until we die? If we stay here, we'll die of hunger. If we go back to the city, we'll die of hunger. So why don't we take a move outside of here? If we die, we die. If we succeed, we succeed. So what happened? When they were taking that bold step out, because they were lepers, they were carrying things that were making noise. It used to be the tradition then. That thing, as they are moving, they will be making noise, like bell, just to notify others that these ones have leprosy, so stay clear. So as they were coming to the camp of the Syrians, they didn't even know there were some Syrians who had so much money, gold, diamonds, camped somewhere. As they were coming, moving, taking that bold step they said they were going to take, the Syrian army heard the sound of their movement and thought the Israelites were coming with their soldiers. And they ran away and left all their gold and diamond and all the food in this world. And these guys who were as low as not having one dime to eat, to buy food, had millions of the value of their currency in diamonds, in gold, and in all the food that they had. So, what changed? They took a bold step out. So you must, on your own, decide whether you want to add to the number, whether you want to add to the number of unemployed youth mentioned every time in this country, or whether you want to add to the number of employers of labor. One thing that is common amongst you, between you and the people that are employers of labor, one thing that is common, you only have one head. And your brain is the same brain they have. 2 hands. Even if your hands are not complete, but you are the same kind of human beings. One thing that is different is the fact that somebody decided to take a bold step and you decided to sit down to say, I'm going to look for work. And so, having said this, I said, nature has a way of making our genuine thoughts to come to pass. Many times, nature, that's from experience. Once I think about something so much, nature will make it to come to pass. If I think about that I need this camera, All I need to do is to think about this camera. Oh, I like this camera. I need this camera. How it will come my way, I don't know. And it should be working for you too. So nature has a way of making sure that whatever you think about so much will come to pass. What are you thinking about right now? Are you thinking about how to become one thing or the other? So whatever you think about is likely to come to pass. May I wish you a successful entrepreneurial pursuit, and congratulations. Thank you very much. I don't have a doubt that you have questions. So if you have a question, we can take. Any question or comment or extra lecture? Somebody's there.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. I want to thank you for the lecture so far. There is something I feel is a challenge that is not among what is there. Some at times, like, I have this zeal, like, I want to produce shoes for NYSC. How do I get this contract? Because it's not something I can do. Then I take it to the market and begin to sell. They don't come out to buy it. So how do one get the contract?
The contact.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, in my conclusion, I said Rome was not built in a day. The shoes I talked about, a lady was making in Lagos. It was in Abuja, I saw a sample of it. Somebody was wearing it, and I asked him, where did you buy this from? He told me his niece in Lagos made it. What have you produced? Have you produced anything, even if it's just one pair, and you snapped it or videoed it and sent to your social media? You saw the girl that was singing the other day carrying a tray on her armpit, right? People just heard her voice. Today, only the sky is her limit. So, whatever thing you think you can produce, the contact you can make using the social media that is available to us today. The people that did business in the 70s, in the 80s, didn't have opportunity of social media. Today, everybody is a business person because it is possible to send your product to the social media. You can send it there. The DG of NYSC will see the thing and say, I want to get the contact of this person because this is a good product. This is like what I want. Oh, I want to have this person because I think we can partner with this man and export it. So the opportunities are there. All right. Any other comment or question? Any other person? Yes, one is there.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to say, well done, work, sir. The last week we came here. You was not around. The lecture was cancelled. However, an assignment was given to us to compile or prepare a business plan in our various discipline. So concerning your lectures today, you also said that whatever we want to do, we must have passion of it. Then that goes in line with what the assignment that was given to us. So in most cases, during the admission time, our admission, that is, what is our passion has been changed. Perhaps we may want to come for economics, they will change. That is our passion. We may eventually be changed to agri. Then we may lose passion. How can we be able to produce well or come out well as an entrepreneurship when things like that are being done in the university system?
Okay. he talked about passion. He gave an example, somebody who wants to study economics may not get economics. That is where his passion is. He's given admission to study agric, where he does not have passion. Now, that is for you see, this kind of thing happening also can be addressed in various ways. I have seen somebody who did JAMB 3 times just because the person wanted to study medicine and didn't get medicine until the 3rd time. They were giving the person biochem, microbiology, and courses like that. So that is one aspect of it. Second aspect is that even the biochem, you can be the best biochemist if you want to really be committed to it. That is another aspect. Let me use the example of being an economist. Whatever you study in university, has nothing to do with what you want to become. It must not be. Must not be. Some of you are studying medicine right now. And in your calculation, you have calculated that you will come out and become a consultant gynecologist, a consultant pediatrician, consultant this or consultant that. But a passion out of your mind may say, I'm not going in there, because I've seen them, a lot of them before. They'll go into fashion, completely different from what they learned in the university. So what I'm talking about today is entrepreneurship. As an economist, whether you studied economics or agriculture, it does not matter. Entrepreneurship is a very wide range of area. I used example, Richard Branson, that we know, owner of Virgin Atlantic, owner of Virgin Cola, and all others. He didn't study aeronautics engineering. He didn't study to become a pilot. I don't even know what he studied. But his passion took him to air travel. We already know what he's doing today. People go to the space. And many of them that you know their names, you guys are more conversant with them than even myself. Those guys didn't study those things in the university. So it doesn't matter what you studied. That's actually what I'm trying to say. Any other thing? So one last one before we close. Okay, I'm seeing a hand there.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, sir. I wanted to ask if there is any way. Okay. I wanted to ask, sir, if there is any way we can get the slide you presented to us, sir.
Say it again.
I wanted to ask if there is a way we can get the slide you presented, sir.
Yes, the slide. In fact, that's what I'm saying. You guys are even more privileged than the people of last week. There was no slide for last week, but I know the prof promised that he's going to send that to all of you. The thing is already in the system here, and this system belongs to the school. And so he's going to send this to all of you that are doing this particular course. So it will get to you. All right. Okay, finally, Giver.
Good morning, all. My name is Comfort. I'm into industrial and residential cleaning. So
Industrial cleaning?
Yes, industrial cleaning. I find out that people that are already made, like people that are already in a higher position, find it difficult to look down on us that are just coming up. Like they want people that are already established. So my question is, what can I do to repackage my brand, like be more presentable to them?
Okay. Have you seen sometimes some eye doctors, opticians will come here, they will tell you they want to do free eye check. Have you seen something like that before? They will come to your community to say they want to do free eye check. There is nothing free in what they are doing. In the process of doing free eye check, they will now discover that half of you have eye issues. And so they will sell their glasses, they will sell their frames. Then you will come to their place for further checks. So as an industrial cleaner, all those places you think are big places Have you ever offered them free cleaning? One Saturday, say, come, I want to give you free cleaning. Free. Free cleaning. And they will say, oh, free? Yes, we're not going to take money from you. Just give us where we can clean for free. It won't cost you so much. You clean for them. If they are human beings, like we all are, there's no way you finish cleaning for them, they won't give you one portion of what they're doing. Millennium Park that we all know, was done for free by Stalini. Stalini is an Italian company. They said, government, we want to create the best park that we'll have in this country. Just give us a space, we'll give you a park. They did that park free of charge. Before they even finished doing that park, government gave them a lot of contracts in this Abuja. And that was what they used to come into Nigeria, and that was how they penetrated the government of Nigeria. So think of how you can render a free service. Free service. And then the people will say, okay, oh, if this man can do this free for us, we are ready to be with him. Thank you. And please, when you make your billions, remember that there was a lecture you took from this university, University of Abuja, to make you a billionaire. Don't forget it.
Thank you very much. Please, don't go yet. Hello? Please sit down. Information, sit down. Yeah, you can sit. Exactly. Yeah, you'll all agree with me that it's been a very exciting lecture, exposition. Please, let's give him one more round of applause. There are just one or two things I want to point out. You see, from the lecture, you can discover that there are so many opportunities for business in Nigeria. What I want to tell you is that there's none of them you cannot do. Because we are not training you to be a specialist. Not just to be a specialist medical doctor or a specialist pharmacist or a specialist banker. As an entrepreneur, you can do anything. All you need to do is the brain. Is to use your brain to bring resources together. Whether it's in farming, whether it's in furniture, whether it's in metalwork, whichever area, all the areas that have been pointed out today, you can do this. You can do all these things. So all you need to identify is your passion and your capacity, much of what he talked about during the lecture. So we are training you to have this general idea about how to make it in life, right? You can do any... I don't know, I was reading through a piece this morning about, I know some of you are already familiar with the story of the owner of this 21-story building that got collapsed in Lagos recently. Femi Oshibona. How many of you know the story? Now, that guy became, until the disaster, was a very successful developer. But it's not, you can't call him a developer. He's an entrepreneur. Or he was, because it's late now, he was an entrepreneur, right? And he didn't start as a developer. The story has it that he started in Abuja here after his HND degree in UK or somewhere. He was selling shirts, shoes, and all those things. Then maybe because he didn't click well in those areas, he was moving from one business to another until he found his success in estate development. But the key thing is that if he doesn't have the entrepreneurship mind, he will not be able to move from one place to the other. So if you are somewhere, you are not doing well, and you believe you have the capacity to do better in another area, you can move into that area. That is what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? Not to be rigid in one particular place. That if it is not medical practice, it is nothing again. Many people got stuck in that area, and they fail to actualize their potential that they might have in other area. So please take it very serious. Then one of the importance of this exposition is that, you see, there is this particular lecture fits into another part of your requirement for graduation. You are supposed to do it this year, but because of the short nature of the time, you definitely have to do it next year. Before you graduate, you must register a business. Now, thank God, Dr. Chijoke has given you so many expositions into so many areas you can do that. So you think through all those areas. Wherever you think you have an interest, you must present a certificate of business registration before you graduate. So it's very important. So this is one of the key importance of all these lectures we are giving you. It's not just for anything. I also want you to know that your business plan competition is drawing very, very close. I think you have less than 15 days now to make submission. By the 20th of this month, all entries will close. So if you submit, fine. If you don't submit, you know the consequence. So at this juncture, I will just let me say thank you for coming. Next week will be another lecture. Communication will be sent to you through your class chairman, who will tell you what time and where. We can now allow the Group A students to come in. Thank you very much.
So they sing, they feel the pulse. Make all the people jump around. Make you they listen well because I know if you shout. No joking around. Listen, make I tell you what it's all about. I know you tell you I see what I ain't the coconut. You sit down inside boss, you say you be boss. Oh yeah, look da da da. Look da da da. Say suma pikin with the para with the gaga. Kilo shell.